I grew up in my grandfather's house because my parents were posted out of Shillong, and my grandfather bought this piano for my aunts. So I picked up little tunes, especially after having seen The Sound of Music. That's how I learned to play the piano. That's quite a gap. Well, possibly next year. I need to work on my music and I need to start practicing again. Well, I moved away from Bangalore and I needed to do music that I liked, and so I gathered these young people who like to sing. So you could say it's an offshoot because we do similar kinds of music, although we've grown far beyond what I used to do in Bangalore. Well, if you say covers, it's not like a band doing somebody else's song. What I do is I produce a lot of choral music from choral literature, which is done all over the world. And of late, we've been hired to do certain shows, and our sponsors tell us what to sing. And so we sort of come up with songs which will please everybody. But we do a lot of jazz arrangements which are quite original, and there's not been so much of a demand for original music. Nobody will pay you for that. So we're trying to raise funds to perform my oratorio next year in Switzerland. So that will be entirely my music. Well, music and the arts has always survived solely on patronage, either from the government or from entrepreneurs or from philanthropists. So we don't see much of that because I think the society hasn't grown in the understanding that arts are a very necessary part of our society, and it's an alternative way of earning a living. It's not merely entertainment. And until people can come to that understanding, our society will reflect very little of true art. So what needs to be done is the introduction of music education from schools, and we can see from a very basic level how children can be disciplined, how they can learn to read music, write their own music, and not merely imitate others. So I think these are very few basic steps that can be taken to make people understand what an integral part of life music truly is. Wow, that's a lot of questions. Well, it depends on what do you mean by making it as a musician. Some people want to make it big, some are just content with performing a role they feel that they fit in well. So there are many ways of looking at this. But if you think of people who make it big, this is a small town. There's very little in terms of sponsorship and opportunities to make it big. And to answer the last part of your question, yes, if Shillong Chamber Choir had not won this competition, it would have been very difficult for them to survive financially. And I know very few who can survive just merely performing. We all earn our living through teaching or through writing or doing other things on the side. So yes, if you want to make it big, a competition is really necessary. And do I want to go that same way? I'm not very sure. I would have wanted to go for an international competition and not necessarily for India's Got Talent, simply because a lot of us do not sing Hindi songs very comfortably. I mean, I wouldn't say no to somebody who would give me a very big offer to do something big. As such, the opportunity hasn't come yet. But I think what is important for musicians to understand is the pursuit of excellence. I find in Shillong there are lots of bands and lots of singers who don't even practice well enough, and they're ready to stand on stage. And I think we need to change that and to pursue excellence, because they are all capable of really reaching far above what they can imagine. But it just requires a little bit of discipline and a little bit of education and more effort. So making it big or making it small shouldn't really be the goal. The goal is to be excellent, because I believe that if you're excellent, you touch lives, you change lives, and that's more important than being big or being small, or looking at things which are really outside of your control. But what's within your control is uh, pursuing excellence, and first of all being a good human being. For me, that's very important. I believe that God has given one a gift, and you have to use that gift to bless people, because that gift doesn't belong to you, and that gift is meant primarily to worship God and to bless others. Thank you.